So 5 p.m. और वक्त हुआ है अब हमारे लीगल सेगमेंट का विद अटॉर्नी बिलाल खलीक ही विद खलीक लॉ फर्म और हर ट्यूसडे और थर्सडे को पेश किया जाता है आपके लिए बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव सेगमेंट जिसमें हम मुख्तलिफ लीगल टॉपिक्स को डिस्कस करते हैं इन डिटेल्स. Although we don't take your calls on air, however, the attorney does offer free consultation for all Fun Asia listeners. All you have to do is give them a call at 214-453-2500. That is 214-453-2500, or you can always log on to bulllegal.com to get in touch with them. They do have a full service law firm, so regardless of which legal topic we discuss, you can reach out to them for assistance. That being said, let's go ahead and get started with our legal segment today. Welcome back to the show. Bilal Sahab, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Ambreen. आप कैसी हैं आज?
मैं अच्छी हूँ and always excited and looking forward to this segment because I know there's something new we're going to get to learn. So बताइए आज हम क्या डिस्कस करेंगे?
अच्छा, actually आज topic नया है, but it's a little bit of a sad topic, and the reason being is it's about what to do if you're being deported. देखिए ऐसा है कि इस वक्त US के अंदर the estimate is about 14 million people are living without papers.
Oh my goodness.
और उसमें से
And that's all inclusive, all different nationalities.
Different nationalities, yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's not all Desis, yes.
Okay.
And nearly half of them are those who overstayed their visa. So at some point they entered the country with permission. Legally.
Okay.
Now, people come to me and say, I'm out of status, what do I do?
Okay.
And so there's only really three options that I know of if you're out of status.
Okay.
Out of status means कि आप यहाँ पे आए permission से या permission के बगैर आए.
Okay.
But at some point your authorized stay expired. Visit visa expired, your student visa expired, etc., etc.
Okay.
The first option is marrying a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
So that actually forgives all your unlawful presence. So you've been here for 20 years.
Okay.
If after 20 years you fall in love, you get married, and they're a U.S. citizen, exactly.
Okay.
It's all forgiven.
Okay.
If you end up marrying a permanent resident,
Okay.
it's not all forgiven.
Okay.
You still have to get and apply something called a waiver, and we'll talk about that. It's kind of like a forgiveness.
All
Okay,
right.
I've been here out of status, please forgive me for that
Okay.
time. If, however, that is not an option for you, because either you're already married,
Okay.
or you can't find the right person,
Okay.
the other two choices are asylum and something called a U visa. So let's talk about asylum.
All right.
Asylum is a process where you are asking for protection of the U.S. government that you are afraid to go back home. Now, technically, asylum should be filed within your first year of arrival in the U.S., whether you
Okay.
came legally with a visa or without a visa. Within the first year of your entry, you have to apply for asylum. Otherwise, it's not called an asylum.
Okay.
It is called a withholding of removal. So technically, the benefit is somewhere similar. If you win your case, you're allowed to stay here, but you're not going to get a green card.
Now, since we are talking about asylum, I have a question now. What type of visa is an asylum visa? For example, जैसे H4 होता है या H1 होता है, उसमें आप you can work and you can travel, but you cannot vote, right? And you don't get a lot of benefits and privileges of being a resident or of being a citizen. So, asylum का जो visa होता है, उसका क्या नाम होता है और उसके क्या benefits होते हैं?
जी, actually asylum का कोई visa का नाम है नहीं. Asylum is just a benefit that you're about to seek. And if your asylum is approved, you become an asylee.
Okay.
Just like, if you get a green card, you become a legal permanent resident.
So do you have a green card or do you get a passport? I mean...
So what happens is, while the asylum is pending, first of all, it's taking about 3 to 4 years to get to a hearing.
Oh, wow.
So you file an application, and then the application contains the reasons why you're afraid to go back.
ठीक है.
That application gets entered into the system, and you get a receipt notice.
ठीक है.
Now you're waiting.
So what is your status at this point?
It's called pending asylum.
And what can you do or what can't you do?
During pending asylum, you have to wait 8 months from the date of your application, and then you will receive a work permit.
ठीक
So
है.
they understand that if you're here for the first 8 months, you should have enough funds to support yourself.
ठीक है.
After that, because they're running so far behind, they're running about 3 to 4 years behind, they will give you a work permit, and you can legally work.
ठीक है.
And you get a social security number, and you get a driver's license.
Okay.
Now, let's say in 3 years you get a hearing.
Okay.
And with the asylum hearing, it's an officer that usually has some expertise in your area of country.
Okay.
For example, I actually had a client who was a Iraq War veteran.
Okay.
And his asylum was based upon his serving the U.S. Army, and when he went back home, he started getting threats. So the interviewer actually himself was an Iraq War veteran. So he knew a lot about the country conditions and things like that. And he also, because he was in the base, he knew how the base looked like. So just to make sure that my client was telling the truth, he started asking very irrelevant questions. वो mess कैसा था? You know, खाने का वक्त क्या क्या था? And so if my client, had he been dishonest about being an Iraq War veteran, he wouldn't know these basic questions.
The answers, that's right.
So while the asylum is pending, you become a asylee pending status. If you do get your asylum, then you wait 1 year and you can become a permanent resident. So it's a pathway to becoming a permanent resident.
So are you able to travel till you get your permanent resident card?
Only under certain special circumstances, but you have to ask for permission.
Now, I also know that you cannot go to your own country.
Until you become a citizen.
Okay,
Because
so permanent resident, you still can't go.
You still can, unless you can show that the country conditions have changed. So let's say that you got your asylum based on fear of a certain government. And 3 years later, the government fell because of a coup.
Right.
Now that the country is safe again for you, you can go ahead and travel.
I see.
Okay? But before you travel, as an asylum pending or as a asylee, please consult an attorney. Because once you leave, and you can't come back in. We talked about this at the airport. Your rights are very, very limited. Even you're not even allowed to have an attorney if you're at the airport.
Okay.
So going back to our topic, you can either get married, you can apply for asylum, and even if you've been illegal or undocumented for more than a year, you can still do it. And third thing is it's called a U visa. Now, if you're randomly a victim of a crime, now of course we don't wish that on anybody, right? But let's say you're working at a gas station and there's an armed robbery. And you got hurt. Now the hurt doesn't have to be physical; it could be emotional. I actually have some clients.
You were a witness. I mean, you could be a customer there.
You could be a customer as long as you were a victim of that crime. It could be an assault. As long as you were a victim of a crime and you cooperated with finding that criminal. So the court called you or the police called you. You showed up and you were a witness.
Okay.
Then you may be eligible for a U visa.
Okay.
And U visa is one visa that cures being out of status. Eventually you'll get a green card, you'll become a citizen after being 3 years in the U visa. So besides these three things, if you're out of status, you're kind of out of luck. Now there's also some other visas, S visa and T visa, and we'll talk about those, but those are very specialized visas. So if you're out of status, please call us.
All right.
We can certainly help you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bilal Saab. We appreciate all this great information. I hope that our listeners who are tuned in right now took advantage of this because not necessarily for you, but it could be somebody could be in a similar situation where they need assistance, in which case please do refer them to attorney Bilal Khaliq. You can reach him at 214-453-2500, and remember the first consultation is always free. And you can log on to boldlegal.com to get more information about their full-service law firm. And remember, he's here on air with us every Tuesday and Thursday between 4 and 4:30 p.m. Thank you so much, Bilal Saab. Always a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you, Bree.